Here's a discussion of frames, keyframes, and blank keyframes in Flash. Um, Generally, when we talk about frames, we're referring to the timeline down here at the bottom of the page. So frames, but I find that the best way to think about frames is imagine them as pages. Think of older forms of animation where someone's using a flip book, drawing on each page and then sort of flipping through it. Think of frames as those pages. So if we look here, our animation is occurring at 24 frames per second. So that means that every second you're getting the equivalent of 24 pages occurring. And that number refers to this area here. So in other words, where I just left clicked, we're at about 25. So that would be the 25th frame, meaning that would be about 1 second of time in our animation. 1 second in one frame, to be specific. So if I were to right click at that point and insert a frame, what happens with our layer is it creates a box around it. And so now we basically have 1 second of sort of video to our animation. So if I were to go to the beginning, press enter, this cursor would play for 1 second and then it would stop. So those are ways to think about frames. And of course you can add layers and add frames of varying lengths, and it will play basically until the longest one is complete. Then we talk about keyframes. So keyframes are the actual objects and things and events that are occurring in the animation. And they're represented by these little circles. So right now this is a blank keyframe because it's filled with white in the sense that basically nothing's happening. And we can see that on our stage. We're not looking at anything. So if I go to the beginning and then perhaps grab the rectangle tool and draw a square that will have a stroke of red and a fill of red as well, and I draw that, notice how this keyframe turned black. So that means an event's occurring. And that event will last for 25 frames until I get to here. If I wanted something else to happen, I could go to this 26th frame, insert another keyframe, and then I could either erase this, draw something new, or I could simply use the selection tool to move it. And that would be my new event. So let's see what we have. If we go back to the beginning, press enter, we know this keyframe is just this square here. It plays for 25 frames, and then on the 26th frame we have a new keyframe and our square jumps over to here. We could make that square last for about 1 second by inserting frames, which is just sort of a duration for our keyframe, from there to there. So play it again, about a 2-second animation where our square starts here for 1 second and goes to here.